Hello, Self, Cosmos, Infinite Universe, Ohana, Soul, Dr. Nick here. Magic Mirror work for Friday. Wow. November 14th, 2025, around 9:40 in the morning. Sitting up here on the rooftop patio, Port Moody, in front of the fire, trains, planes, automobiles, foggy day, not raining. This morning, woke up around 6:30, ablutions, coffee and urine enema, listening to Michael Saylor talk about his latest conference in Cantor, Bitcoin, treasuries, and yielding products, which are really interesting, sent to me by a dear friend. Listening to Jack Reacher as part of my beautiful playing, and then reading from Bob Frizzell's book, I'm a Spiritual Being Having a Human Experience. And two of the things are really clear. The don't know mantra, theory, practice from a Zen master in Korea, really reminding me, I don't know. It's been a mantra. I don't know. I think first introduced to me that I can remember from my dear friend Yvonne, but it's probably come in many times. And it's part of the unlearning, the school of unlearning. I don't know. And then beyond that, remembering that the first step into stepping into the world of possibility is to wipe the slate clean, to be with the nothingness, the no thingness, where realizing that in every moment, if I can actually step into the nothingness and wipe the slate clean, I can actually let go of all the previous patterns, the stories, the holds, the grips, and then it's pure potentiality, pure possibility. Anything is possible. And then stepping into there and writing the story from that place instead of continuously rewriting the old stories. This goes towards Yvonne's teaching before of 95, 97% of the thoughts are the same from the day before. I woke up with that knowingness, that beingness this morning. Is like, I had that sense of dread already, that mindset almost of, it's gonna be one of those challenging days. And that is reflected in the energy of the air, the Schumann's resonance not being 7.83 right now, the magnetic pole shifting, all this stuff. And even with all of that, I'm really grateful for the remembering of the blank slate, the no thingness, because that was one of the most profound things that happened at the first ceremony I went to with grandmother. And in that one, stepping into the no thingness in a way that I didn't even know existed, losing all sense of me, space, time, self, biting myself to remember. And in that was the healing of the asthma, was the birth of the concept of my son. And in all of that, it's burning away the old at that moment and recreating it for something completely new. And it was scary. It was scary because I wasn't sure if I was going through this, if my beloved was going through it, would she still choose me? I wasn't sure who I was, where I was, what I was. And it was disconcerting to be there at the very least. And I thought, okay, this is helping me to connect with others who are going through this, especially when I guide them. More than that, I can feel a little bit almost of a pain in the chest going, okay, that was the beginning of the no thingness. I've been through that many times through my initial facilitations and just feeling like I was dying over and over again. And that's part of the death process, is wiping the slate clean. And it's just like the illnesses, can I bring that forward into my conscious life and wipe the slate clean without having to die? And that's part of the process now. I can see when I'm practicing, I've been living lifetime since I last saw you. It's true. Every time I can practice wiping the slate clean, it's like living another lifetime. And reminding myself these patterns, these practices, and some of the ones that I've been ignoring, missing out on, both consciously and unconsciously, is things like fasting again, being reminded of that. Things like not consuming media, things like turning off the phone for 24 hours or turning off the, at least, ability to consume, to connect, to receive and send the messages. Part of it is probably in the future having some device, and I'll probably get the next DJI Osmo Pocket 4 to record without having to use the phone, and separating the two things. And then this phone doesn't need to be upgraded as quickly as I have been doing it. Yeah, and I'm excited for that as well. And then taking a look at what else, what next? Taking a look at this health, wealth, family, freedom, flow, receiving, having seen a dear friend yesterday and recognizing how important names are. The name Matt or Matthew is a name that's come up over and over again in my life, and sending some messages out to all those Matts and Matthews that I know to thank them, and remembering it's one of the 4 pillars of the New Testament in the Bible and one of the disciples. And how do we help remember? How do I help people remember when they're dealing with skin stuff, especially that boundary, that border that could be and wants to be healed? How our diseases shape us into things that we may want to step into, to support industries we want to support, things that we actually believe in. To see the brilliance of people. Oh my God, the absolute brilliance of people. It feels like I'm going around trying to remind men that they're smart, and how many times have they been told they're not? How many times have they forgotten that there's someone in their corner? And how many times have I forgotten someone's in my corner, and I don't as well? That's part of the reason I keep saying trust is the currency. I recognize that there's this idea of insurance, of what if we lose everything, of what if our gambles don't pay off, of what if I fail? And so what if all that happens? I still am. And the biggest thing that is the fabric of society, if you want to call that, is trust. A big part is that we've outsourced our trust, and we think it's made it more efficient. I don't have to create a relationship to know that this is already happening. The police are here to enforce, things are here to enforce it. And there's nothing that truly replaces the relationships, the relational nature that we are, the depth of spending time and of lifetimes. And it's not just about the time we spend together in this lifetime, it's about the depth of the time that we spend together. It's about the remembrance of the lifetimes we spent together. And in those spaces, we can transmute space and time. We can fold space and time. We are folding space and time. And sometimes I may not be able to traverse cosmic space the same way that I know, but I can traverse relational space in a way that I couldn't have predicted. And that's part of it for doing sometimes the deep work and being really conscious of how much deep work I'm doing right now. Because this is me, this is my choice. It doesn't make it the right choice. In fact, I'm so grateful that so many people are doing it differently than me. And I can support people who want to do it in a similar fashion because it's something that I know more of and I'm going to practice more of, I'm going to step into more of. Because it's not like there can't be more of my kind of work. And that's a piece, and I appreciated that when I spoke to my founding partner. So many people see it as competition. Oh, someone opens up another studio, there's competition. Rather than it's raising the frequency vibration for all of us. And that's part of the beauty of Bitcoin, is I can see some of the people who have started it are actually probably selling a lot of it because they realize if they hoard it and more people don't have access to it, then it actually impedes the overall adoption of it, because it's when more of us actually recognize it that it becomes more powerful. When it's not just a million people who are all benefiting from it, rather it's continuing to distribute the benefits that more people are going to get excited about it. And as they get excited about it, they become the evangelists for it. And we actually get to create something that's digital, that's a store of space and time and energy. And I noticed as well the subtle parts of my brain that can see this. It's like, what if I trained AI to really take a look at breaking people's seed codes, phrases, breaking into people's wallets and being able to take things? And there is still that part of the mentality. It exists. Because what if there is an algorithm that can be written that can continuously test all these seed phrases until it finds the next wallet and then takes the next wallet and takes the next wallet and takes the next wallet? And it's not that that probably isn't already happening. I'm certain. I'm almost certain that someone else is already trying to do that, leverage that. And someone else is trying to regulate that. And I don't know, I don't think that's a battle that can really be won either way. It's not like It's an arms race at that point. I imagine something is put in place already, but I don't know. And part of it for me is continuing to shift the methods, is continue to learn. As I'm teaching someone else, like, you wouldn't want to put all your stuff in one wallet. I'm like, no, you wouldn't. But part of the thing is to get to the point where you have enough that you don't want to put it in one wallet. Otherwise, you're thinking about the future problems instead of dealing with the present ones. You're thinking about the future dilemmas. And right now, for me, even in my life, is how do I come back to the current quote unquote dilemmas? How do I take a look at what I really am willing to intend? And that's the next thing after wiping the slate cleaning it. What are my intentions? What is the intention that I know I'm going to actually go towards? And as I actually step into it, things are going to come up against it. Part of it is and was following the sun. And so there are reasons to sleep in, there's reasons to miss a sunrise, there's reasons to not travel, to not book. And I've planted the seeds, I've already gotten the tickets booked. I don't know what's going to happen. Government shutdown's cleared. Okay, cool, things are opening up again. Got it. Okay, so that should be cleared. Next step, new home. We know that this home, we're almost complete. So how do I put in place steps to actually move homes, to get the support, to get the help in finding the home, finding the next home. And I don't fully know, and I'm going to put in some seeds and plant some seeds and plant some places. And then what next? What next? Part of it could be even taking a look, is there a place in Bowen Island that they know of that we could rent easily for a few months, for a year? Is there a place in Anmore, Belcarra that can be easily rented? Is there a place in Richmond, Delta, Ladner, Surrey? Is there a place in the Cowichan Valley? Not that there is, but planting the seeds and seeing what actually springs forth from these seeds. What really springs forth from these seeds. What really feels good. North Vancouver, same thing. Plant those seeds around. Plant the seeds of what we're looking for. Taking a look at the business, how to really step into this breath and playing with it. How to step into these videos, these rites, these diatribes, and actually really understand it. How to be with the discomfort in my gut. There's such a discomfort. How to realign the microbiome, microflora. How to notice the cravings for sugars, for other things. How to notice the ins and outs of the monies. How to return a lot of things that just are not working, and that's okay that they didn't work. They looked kind of cool. I'm glad I tried it out. And now it's time to send them back. How to be with some of the pains in the chest and in the heart. How to actually gift real value. Give more value than I expect. Be of service. Be a connector. To be with these parables, these stories. How to notice the patterns. And part of it when I'm working with someone else is to notice the ingrained patterns, the patterns in a relationship, the patterns in taking care of others, the patterns in blaming, the patterns in deflecting, and to see the places I've actually stepped into. Part of it is even in my own relationships, using them as learning points. And I've said it enough times that now people around me are using things as learning points. And as they're learning, I'm learning as well. Okay, how am I repeating old patterns and stories? How am I retelling myself these stories? How am I ignoring and forgetting the things that matter? And being so compassionate with myself that when I notice it, I'm not spiraling the same way. And remembering the recreation of something, the remembering of something is there for myself to actually practice clearing it. I'm clearing out old stories at the same time. As I'm working with someone else to clear their stuff out, the next layer is not holding on to it. The next layer is allowing that to be an accelerant for my own clearing at the same time, which means that as I'm giving, I'm receiving, and that's part of the teaching that I'm creating. Because if we think, I'm doing this for someone else. I'm sacrificing my life force. It's a zero-sum game. It's continuing to be a zero-sum game. So many doctors, healthcare professionals are burning out or dying partly because of that game. We're overstepping our bounds. We're putting others first. We're overriding ourselves. And how have I been overriding myself? How have I been overriding the stories? How have I been overriding? And how am I actually willing to keep shifting, to keep spending money, but to keep shifting quickly? The idea of supplements, even the idea of some medications, anti-parasitic things that I thought were helpful, and they are helpful to a certain degree, and then it's important to stop, to not just continue down that path. There are so many paths to take. Which ones am I willing to choose? Which ones am I choosing? And continue to breathe. Breathe down these paths. Breathe down these ways of knowing. Breathe with these ways of knowing. Breathe with these paths. Invest in self and in others in this way. Have this differential way of doing things, of paying for things. Nothing is ever fully equal in time, in space, in amount. And noticing that, one of the people that has resurfaced in my life is someone who gifted us a home for over a month when we needed it. And I reminded him, you were so brilliant, you were ahead of your time. We wouldn't be sitting here today if it wasn't for that moment back then. And now you're reaping some of the dividends. And it isn't from a transactional nature. Rather, it's my remembrance of, oh wow, things keep flowing. And even my story of cause and effect isn't true. The only thing we're with is the effects. The causes go all the way back to the beginning and before the beginning. What is the beginning? What is the end? What is the Ouroboros? And I'm reminding myself these magic mirror works are for me. I can follow my train of thought as I'm speaking it, and I can't sometimes. And part of it not being able to follow it is creating loops and paradoxes and patterns and dichotomies. And then being able to see myself and wrapping and weaving the webs. And that was part of it for my first journeys as well, to see the spider web that I've created. I've created such a spider web of my life and getting caught by it. And then being able to use it as an excuse, and being able to use it as an excuse keeps me from having to do anything. And right now I'm recognizing it's the stepping into the doing, it's stepping into the being, and being able to be wise enough to be both at the same time and to be neither at the same time. To actually enjoy life in this moment too. That's part of the reason for watching some of the shows, reading some of the books, listening to some of the stories. If I'm not enjoying myself, part of it came back to the Never-Ending Story. I can't wait to reread that. It was such, and it is such a brilliant book. Realizing that the book is being written while the story is being told, while the story is being read. It's such a powerful moment to be able to see all the confluence come together of the nothingness, the no-thingness that's going everywhere. And that's part of what's going on right now. We're trying to create a factual reality where things are going wrong rather than actually flowing with all these shifts. And all these shifts are part of our own story, our own unfolding, our own evolution. We've created it to this time. We've deferred to this time. And part of it is we had to create such pain in order to create such change, right? As long as we can keep deferring the change and reaping some of the benefits for some people, they may keep doing that. Not right or wrong, right? Self-preservation is such a powerful force. When we forget that we're spiritual beings having a human experience, creating the space for trust, creating the space for new relationships, creating the space where right now every moment is preparation, every moment is revelation, every moment is prophecy, and every prophecy is not meant to come true exactly in the way it is. It's not right or wrong. The prophecy is meant to plant the seeds, and the seeds can sprout in different ways. And having been bold enough to say the prophecy, okay, I prophesize right now that the markets are going to completely turn. It's going to be upheaval in the housing and everything else, and we're going to forget about what real value is. We're going to chase after value. We're going to come back to value. There's going to be so many stories. There's going to be so much confusion. There's going to be so much chasing. And it's to remember, what do I want? What do I believe in? Which diversification actually means something and matters to me? Which businesses actually have a meaning behind it that I actually want to support as well? Who are the people that I really believe in? What are the relationships that I want to cultivate? And part of that is what we're going to be speaking about today with some dear friends as well who are coming by to spend a day with us, 24 hours with us at least. All right, let's plan on that. What can we accomplish in 24 hours that we couldn't have imagined we would accomplish otherwise? Got it. It's a beginning. And turn this all the way down. I'm just playing with some fires, clearing some energy right now in the most fun way possible. One of my favorite things is to light fires. We would love for our next home to have a working wood stove. We definitely need to have fire at our next place. Regardless, some kind of fire. Some kind of regular fire would be even better. Okay, I don't need to burn it that fast right now. Sometimes, all right, more is better right now. I'm gonna turn off my original fire because that's the propane. That's the one that may keep me warm, but I'm not gonna be sitting there right now, so I don't need to keep burning it. I don't need to keep refilling the propane. Throwing out old things, clearing out the old, selling things. Again, cleaning the slates, clearing the slates. We have more than enough stuff. More than enough stuff. Remember who you are. Remember. Where do I want to go? Who do I want to be? What do I want to do? How do I want to experience life? How do I want to shift things? How do I want to take things for granted? Looking at these rooftop patios, looking at these heat pumps, looking at the way things are built, looking at the standards that are in place for safety. And at one point they made sense, but the standards haven't changed in real-ish time. And recognizing that real-ish time, there's a reason some things are a little slower. It's not a bad thing. Change affects all of us differently. Change affects all of us differently. The things that I think are so critical, someone else may not think are critical. So let's start creating some groups. Let's start creating some messages. Let's start creating some remembrances. I'm going to leave a few for myself. I'm going to remember right now, how do I focus on the things that I can most, I'm going to use the word control because that's what came up first. What are the possibilities that I'm willing to step into? Health, wealth, family, freedom, flow, receiving. Family breath session this coming Sunday. Noticing my own stories, my own limitations, my own blocks with my own family, my own separations with my own family, and being grateful for them. Again, being grateful for them. Again, being grateful for them. Again, being grateful for them. I'm living this magical, charmed life right now with so much freedom and flow, and having the opportunity to notice when I'm blocking my own flow. Having the realization that living this life isn't about trying to show off a certain life. And there are some times that I feel that showing off, and it's shifting into examples that are being used, not to self-deprecate, not to self-aggrandize, but better to get clear on my own current reality. And one of the things that I heard about recently, it was from one of the podcasts, was he's part of this, I can't remember if it's Tiger 21 or something else, this group of wealthy individuals who actually share their net assets, net worths, and every month will actually talk about them specifically and why they're in certain things and be able to evaluate and see. And that is one of the things that probably is the most important going forward. Something to practice, probably for my own Ohana Brotherhood, is a great starting point. And we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that flows. And then being able to be questioned about it all. And to feel into that energy. What's going on? What's fighting it? What's resisting it? What's the unknowingness of it all? Oh, oh, there's such a, I can feel that right now. And it's a practice of letting that go. It's a practice of being willing to be judged, to be seen, to be unseen, to be scrutinized, to be filthyized. And then we're heading off to Hawaii soon. I can't wait. And I can. Right now it's enjoying this lull, this overcastness, this rain to its fullest extent, making the most of the television, making the most of the food, making the most of the family, making the most of the people. Noticing the things I'm ignoring, actually taking care of some of the insurance things. There was part of my dreams last night that it was taken care of, that it was followed through, and that's my job. To make sure it gets completed. I don't know how to best complete it though. I don't. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Let's play with that meditation. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And when I actually can step into that I don't know and wiping the slate clean again, possibilities can emerge that I couldn't imagine. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Thank you.